I've always been fascinated with the landscape in Kansas, especially you get out there early in the morning and the birds start doing their thing. As a kid, it was just like an adventure land for us, to go out into the Badlands. Whenever we go out for a picnic, it was going fossil hunting. It was just one little experience you kind of lived with. I'm glad I did. It's exciting to me. I'm Chuck Bonner. I live out here in the Great Plains of western Kansas. My wife Barbara and I run the Keystone Gallery, which is conveniently located in the middle of nowhere. We are unique when it comes to having fossils very close to where they all were found and collected. In 1955, my dad found a plesiosaur, which is a short-necked swimming reptile. He had met George Sternberg back here in the 20s and 30s. Dad took a limb bone for this plesiosaur and showed it to George, and George got really excited. They became really close friends, and they went to a lot of meetings. They went to New York, and through that linkage, Dad got to meet a lot of famous old paleontologists that George knew.
There is a long history of collection of fossils in Kansas going back to the original fossil hunters in the United States. So much of finding fossils is just the right aged rock exposed at the surface of the earth. North America was covered by this huge ocean. It stretched all the way from the Arctic down to the Caribbean. Different types of rocks and different types of environments where these rocks form and where these ancient animals lived preserve a little bit differently. What we have exposed here, specifically in western Kansas, are these 66 to 100 million year old rocks.
When you see the layers of sediment, this is over lots of time. I think we figured maybe for every foot, 20,000 years.
We get this wide diversity of animals that are very well preserved. Their bones are intact and they're not broken up too much.
Monument rocks are Little Jerusalem, which are both Badland areas. Those are the face of the Badlands. I mean, they run for 100 miles from Wallace County all the way to Ellis County.
We have two state fossils. We have a swimming state fossil, and that's our Tylosaurus, which is a type of mosasaur marine reptile.
The mosasaurs are probably one of the most ferocious water predators that ever existed.
And then we have a state flying fossil, which is the Pteranodon, which is a type of pterosaur. It is necessary to understand what the rules are around fossil collection. Kansas is really interesting because we're like 99% private land. No matter where you are, it's a good chance that there's a private landowner. And in the US, whoever owns the land owns the fossils. Castle Rock is a great area because the landowners have been really great about keeping that open to the public.
People have asked me, what's your best fossil? I do the old trite, the next one. It's really great to see kids walk in and they see the fish, first of all, the big fish. Whoa, it's a big fish. That's pretty cool. Although some adults react just like the kids too.
There's a great stretch on I-70 where you can hit a lot of these spectacular hot spots. Between the bigger things like Sternberg Museum, the smaller museums like the Oakley Keystone Gallery, as well as the areas where the fossils that are showcased come from. This is Kansas's history. These ancient ecosystems of Castle Rock and Little Jerusalem, and what we can learn from fossils and rocks, some of which can only be found in Kansas. We get to kind of do a cool little contrast of what Kansas is now, contrasted against what it was 85 million years ago.